A couple of months ago, I shared with you a video about the Vivo V40 5G, and it has easily one of the best smartphone camera systems and camera app features I've tried in a while. So when Vivo reached out and asked if I was interested in experiencing its little brother, the Vivo V40 Lite, I had to say yes, because I was curious how it would fare considering that it's almost half the price as the Vivo V40 5G. Now, this video is not paid, but Vivo did provide the Vivo V40 Lite for me to experience, and for full transparency, I also get to keep it, but they will not see this video or my script prior to release. I just want to put it out there as usual. With that out of the way, let me share with you 5 reasons why you should get the more affordable Vivo V40 Lite, and I also share some of the things that you need to consider before pulling the trigger. Let's get into it. Now, the first reason why you should consider the Vivo V40 Lite is its design and construction. The Vivo V40 Lite is available in 3 color variants: Dreamy Violet, Dynamic Black, and what we have here, Titanium Silver. It weighs around 190 grams and is just around 7.79mm thin. Now, construction-wise, it has a plastic frame and back cover, but it was crafted in such a way that it still looks stylish and elegant. Looks more premium than it actually is, considering its price. Granted, the sides are extremely glossy, shiny, and to be honest, fingerprint magnet, but the back is absolutely elegant and minimalist in terms of design language, especially this titanium-inspired variant. The camera bump is noticeably neat, with intricate accent linings and complementing shades of the same color. I'm also quite impressed that we do have 2 camera flashes here, a standard flash and an always-on aura light, which gives us more options than usual. For me, this Titanium Silver is the best color variant if you're looking for that premium minimalist aesthetic, and I really like the combination of matte finish with high gloss linings. Now, this is also IP64 dust and water resistance, which means it can withstand some splashes here and there. Just avoid completely submerging it underwater and you're pretty much golden. The second reason why you should consider the Vivo V40 Lite is battery life and endurance over time. It has a decent 5000 mAh battery with 80 watts flash charge support, which allows you to charge up to 80% in just half an hour. It can also last up to 15 hours for YouTube video streaming. That is pretty good at this price range, but what sets itself apart is the fact that Vivo backed this up with 1 free battery replacement within 4 years, which means unless you break it or lose it, you'll have a perfectly working smartphone for at least 4 years. It also has multiple protection to enhance its battery lifespan, which is always good to know. As per testing, I was able to charge it from 9% to 100% in exactly an hour, which is pretty good. The third reason why the Vivo V40 Lite is a compelling option at its price range is its pretty decent display and stereo speakers. It features a 6.67-inch 2400 by 1080 resolution AMOLED display with up to 120Hz refresh rate and up to 1800 nits peak brightness. That is decent enough even for outdoor use, and with a pixel per inch density of around 394, rest assured that you'll get crispy details. And thanks to its AMOLED panel, you'll get good viewing angles and absolutely beautiful contrast, black levels, and overall good image quality. Not to mention a fairly decent 91.9% screen-to-body ratio. Now, we have 3 options here when it comes to the screen refresh rate, and if you set it to Smart Switch, it will automatically switch between 60 and 120Hz. It also has decent stereo speakers that can fill a small room thanks to its up to 300% audio booster feature. Granted, it lacks enough bass and low end to make it a complete package, but at least we have 2 dedicated speakers that can go beyond 100% if necessary. Here's a quick sound test. The Vivo V40, in my honest opinion, is one of the best in its price range when it comes to mobile photography, with a good combination of hardware and software features. It has everything you'll ever need for any kind of shooting scenario, may it be for landscapes, nightscapes, travel, street photography, portraits, and of course, your typical events and gatherings. Alright, so the fourth reason why you should consider the Vivo V40 Lite is its decent camera system. It features a 50 megapixel main camera, an 8 megapixel ultra-wide angle camera, and a 32 megapixel selfie camera. This is where we can see a significant difference compared to the more expensive Vivo V40 5G that features 50 megapixel Zeiss optics on all of its cameras. But you also have to consider the huge price difference between the two. And we still have a pretty good 50 megapixel main camera here, and of course, the versatile and nifty Aura Light feature. As you can tell, the 8 megapixel ultra-wide angle camera still produces decent quality photos with good dynamic range, though I would have to say that you can definitely tell that some sort of image processing was applied here to make the image more balanced overall in terms of its dynamic range, balancing both the highlights and the shadows. Because I can tell you right now, this doesn't look exactly the same as what you would see in person, which is kinda normal when it comes to smartphone photography, but nevertheless, the images look really good. Now, the 50 megapixel main camera is noticeably sharper, more detailed, and has a better resolution, especially if you zoom in. It also has the same balanced dynamic range with visible clouds, blue sky, and some details around the darker areas. This is definitely the go-to camera for the Vivo V40 Lite. Now, we also have a 2x option here, but this is essentially an in-sensor zoom from the main 50 megapixel camera. I noticed that it produces a noticeably brighter image, but sometimes it tends to get soft. So unlike other smartphones that I've tried before with a 2x in-sensor zoom that produces overly processed sharpened image, this one does the opposite. So I would rather stick to the main 50 megapixel camera and just crop it in post if necessary. Actually, now that I mentioned that, I also noticed that the ultra-wide camera is the one that produces overly processed and sharpened images here to compensate for the lack of pixels, which also introduces noise, artifacts, and chromatic aberrations. The ultra-wide camera is also noticeably warmer compared to the main camera, which I kinda expected for an 8 megapixel ultra-wide camera because I've seen these types of images before, but for the most part, the images are still fairly usable. Turning on HDR mode helps a bit in terms of the dynamic range, especially for the 2x in-sensor zoom. Portrait mode using the 50 megapixel main camera results in some pleasing portraits, but the artificial bokeh or background separation is not as natural and as accurate as I would prefer. Now, we do have some bokeh effects here, like hearts, stars, butterfly, cherry blossoms, if you're into that. Now, I'm happy to report that the 32 megapixel selfie camera is actually pretty good. It produces pleasing portraits with a bunch of image processing options to enhance your face, whether to make it more natural or more pleasing with skin smoothening, whitening, and more. We also have a lot of effects here, including the mentioned bokeh shapes and things like overlay filters, lens flares, and other quirky effects. And of course, the Aura Light feature that when partnered with the standard flash gives you more options in terms of lighting. As for video, it can capture 1080p 30fps video for both the rear and front cameras. Alright, so this is a video test for the Vivo V40 Lite and a microphone test as well. Microphone test 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Overall, while the Vivo V40 Lite doesn't have an all 50 megapixel Zeiss camera system, at least the 50 megapixel main camera and the 32 megapixel selfie camera are pretty good with a bunch of camera features that you can take advantage to enhance or even artistically modify your photos. Lastly, the fifth reason why you might want to consider the Vivo V40 Lite is its performance. For the variant that we have here, it is powered by a Snapdragon 4 Gen 2 processor with 8GB of RAM and 256GB of storage. As with any modern Android phone, you can also extend the RAM here up to 16GB, taking advantage of some of the free space from your internal storage to act as a sort of buffer for your open apps. As per testing, it got a 455,379 score in Antutu benchmark, which checks out with its advertised performance. And to give you some more tangible data to compare with your current smartphone or any of your target smartphones to upgrade to, here are all the benchmarks that I ran for the Vivo V40 Lite. I was also able to play most of my favorite mobile games with the Vivo V40 Lite without any major issues. I didn't encounter any significant or noticeable hiccups or frame drops. We also have a sort of game assistant here where you can toggle between 3 modes: battery saver, balance mode, and boost. We also have a bunch of options here that you can toggle to minimize distractions and focus more on your competitive matches. However, we don't have any stats overlay here, which is kind of a bummer. In Mobile Legends, all settings are available, including super high frame rate and ultra graphics quality, though as you can tell, the display is only running at 60Hz. But yeah, the performance on this game is really outstanding, with no hiccups and no frame drops even on ultimates and clashes. No issues here. Same with Call of Duty Mobile. Very high graphics quality and high frame rate are both supported on the Vivo V40 Lite, and the performance, while also limited to 60Hz, is super smooth. No frame drops, lag, or anything, and I can definitely trust this even for competitive matches. Now, for Honor of Kings, high FPS and ultra resolution are supported, but some of the graphics quality options are locked. But again, the performance is pretty similar to Mobile Legends. Smooth, stable, and reliable to play with, even for multiple skill casts and a lot of things going on around the map. Now, I was hoping that the Vivo V40 Lite could support up to 120 FPS, since Real Racing 3 does support that frame rate, but as you can tell, we're also running at 60Hz. So yeah, but again, performance is quite decent here. Smooth and stable all the way to the finish line. As for Genshin Impact, as expected, I had to limit the graphics quality to either the lowest, which is the default setting, or low to have a pretty decent gaming experience, and as you can tell, it's definitely playable without much hiccups and frame drops. You get occasional stutters, but not too much that it gets in the way of a decent gaming experience. By the way, if you find any value from this video, or you find this informative and whatnot, please consider subscribing. If not, dropping a like below would be very much appreciated. Thank you. Alright, so those are the 5 reasons why you should get the Vivo V40 Lite. But what about the things that you need to consider before buying this? Well, first, I noticed that most of the apps are running at 60Hz, including all the games that I've tested, even those that supposedly support 120Hz. And mostly, it's just the user interface, settings, and some apps that are the ones running at 120Hz. It's not a total deal breaker, but something that I just wanted to point out. Another thing to consider is the fact that while its main camera and selfie camera are pretty decent for their price, it's honestly nowhere near the Vivo V40 5G in terms of mobile photography capabilities. While they both have a 50 megapixel main camera, the Vivo V40 Lite's main camera lacks OIS and has a smaller 1/1.95 inch sensor. I also miss the more accurate and pleasing Zeiss bokeh effects. I mean, the background separation and edge detection on the Vivo V40 Lite against the Vivo V40 5G is essentially night and day, and the overall image parsing is more natural and pleasing on the Vivo V40 5G. And it makes a ton of difference in terms of my personal purchasing decision. Because you know, I'm all about that camera quality. But again, with that said, you have to consider the price difference. But if I were to decide, I'm definitely going to save up more and get the Vivo V40 5G to make the most out of my hard-earned money. But that is just me. Maybe you're not into mobile photography and you simply want a decent smartphone for your basic tasks and lifestyle needs. So yeah. Don't get me wrong, when it comes to mobile photography, Vivo is probably my go-to brand. But again, I'd rather save up for the higher tier phones specifically for mobile photography. Actually, that's basically it. Other than that, I like pretty much everything else about the Vivo V40 Lite. The design is really elegant for its price, the construction while made out of plastic is pretty good, and the display, speakers, battery life, and overall performance are pretty decent as well. It just didn't tick all my boxes in terms of my personal mobile photography preference, so yeah. And there you have it guys, thank you for watching. Huge thanks to Vivo for sending this in. You can get this using the link below. Honestly, I'll probably sell this and get either the Vivo V40 5G or the latest Vivo X200, which by the way, I also got a loaner review sample from Vivo. So make sure to subscribe for that. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Have a great day guys, you're awesome.